System integrators, when you break it down, it's simple. If you provide more value to your customers, you are going to win more business. But what do customers want from their process data? They want higher reliability, enhanced data context, better trending, and automated reporting. Even if your customers aren't verbalizing these needs to you directly, they certainly feel it on a daily basis. They need an expert like you to show them how easy it can be to get more from their process data. Hello and welcome. My name is Kyle Kensinger. I'm a solution consultant with Canary, and I will be leading you through the webinar today. My colleague, Sean Ebersole, will join us shortly to provide a detailed overview of the Canary system. We're really excited to talk to you today about how partnering with Canary can help you win more business. Customers look to you to help them choose the right database solution. As a system integrator, you are the expert clients rely on to deliver the right software tools and make their lives easier. So why are you not winning jobs you feel like you should be getting? Jobs that are right in your wheelhouse. You're walking a fine line because suggesting the wrong software can have serious consequences. It might seem like free, included software from the SCADA package is enough to get the job done, but smart customers will soon realize that's not what they signed up for. Or that very expensive solutions will cover all your bases, but you're not likely to win as many bids, not to mention wrestling with that anxiety-inducing 500-pound gorilla called ROI. Either way, you're left looking bad. But the right software is money in the bank. You're building custom solutions that are results-driven, winning more work, and creating a fan base that pushes more jobs your way. And that's exactly what Canary wants to help you do. And you don't have to do it alone. At Canary, our focus is all about helping our partners deliver best-in-class solutions and making sure you look great while doing it. You will love how simple and flexible Canary systems are to deploy. You can train your team at no charge, get the best pricing around, and take advantage of referrals and dedicated Canary sales support. Let's face it, when you make process data easy to use for your customers, their operation runs better, and you look like a rock star. Now come on, that's something to celebrate. In fact, Canary has been helping folks solve their process data problems for a really long time. We started building databases and trending tags before Mario was smashing mushrooms and collecting coins. Since 1985, we've learned what works and what doesn't. Along the way, Canary has grown from a small shop in Pennsylvania to serving thousands of customers within the United States. And now we work with integrators and end users in more than 60 countries worldwide. Today, we offer sales and support not only from our US-based office in Pennsylvania, but also through strategic partners in Johannesburg, South Africa, and Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. This ensures that no matter what time zone you're calling from, you can always reach a Canary agent. The Canary solution is a great fit for large enterprise solutions, small utilities, and everything else in between. Even our partners range from huge global powerhouses to regional specialists. And they all have one thing in common. They are busy and winning lots of work. Canary partners are the lifeblood of our business model. We have built our business around you. Canary doesn't run a global sales team. We don't consider ourselves sales experts. We're a software development company, and we rely on you, our partners, to drive our sales. In turn, we can focus our energy on adding to the best database solution on the market. Before we go over the details of the Canary Partner Program, I have a question for you. What has been the biggest pain point with other partner programs? Is it training expenses, lack of support, not having input regarding product direction, or the cost of membership fees? We'll leave the poll open for just a few more seconds. All right, and thank you for your feedback. So let's take a deeper dive into how partnering with Canary can help you win more work. There are 3 steps we use to guide our partners. The first step is training your team so that you know the Canary system inside and out. Training opportunities include classroom training, one-on-one instruction, and online resources. Canary will provide complimentary, in-person 2-day training sessions for system administrators. And the Canary Caravan will hit the road 10 to 15 times per year throughout the US and Canada. We want to ensure that at least 2 to 3 times per year, Canary partners have a training opportunity within a short driving distance. If you can't make it to an in-person training session, Canary will provide the same course material in a virtual classroom setting on a quarterly basis. The virtual classroom format will be a few hours per day over a total of 6 days. If you're looking for a more customized training opportunity, Canary can also provide one-on-one training sessions. Private training sessions are available on a limited basis, starting at $995. Canary experts can train your team virtually, or you can choose to bring Canary trainers directly to you. These one-on-one training sessions would be ideal for larger integrators who want to train their entire sales team, or partners who prefer Canary to travel directly to their site. We understand that learning the scope of the Canary system is an ongoing process. Online instruction is another powerful resource available to Canary partners. The Canary Academy is free and accessible at learn.canarylabs.com. New courses will continue to be added and will highlight version upgrades and the latest features of the Canary system. Courses make it easy to learn the Canary system at your own pace and provide a deep dive into our client tools. The on-demand style of the Canary Academy allows you to simply refresh your knowledge of the Canary software or provide step-by-step instruction for new users. Beyond training your team, Canary wants you to win more work. Your success is our success. As a true sales partner, Canary will assist you with product demos as well as share potential leads. No matter how big or small your sales team is, Canary will be with you every step of the way. If you're not yet comfortable providing system demos for potential clients, we can step in and assist. If we learn of RFPs that are right up your alley, Canary will make sure you can put your best foot forward and win new business. And the partnership does not end after the sale is made. Canary provides free support, contractual deployment services, and can assist with onboarding end users. We aren't satisfied until you and your customers are confidently getting the most out of the Canary system. When it comes time to deploy the Canary system and train your end users, you can rely on our experience. And the Canary Academy can help get end users up to speed, and it reduces strain on your time and energy. Additional Canary Partner Program benefits include free development and demo software, product discounts to give you a better profit margin, as well as international distribution and support. So if you like what you've learned so far, please raise your hand in the Zoom toolbox, and we will provide everything you need to start building better process data solutions as a Canary partner. All right, thank you so much. So now that you have an idea of how the Canary Partner Program works, I'll go ahead and turn things over to Sean Ebersole. He will provide an outline of the Canary system. Once you gain an understanding of our solution, you will quickly see how partnering with Canary can help you win more business.
Well, thank you, Kyle, for showing everyone how easy it is to win more business by becoming a Canary partner. The Canary solution consists of multiple pieces of software that have been built specifically to solve your clients' data problems. We group our solution based on 3 main steps that help customers solve their data needs. First step is to collect and store your data. Next is assigning context to your data. And finally, it's all about maximizing your operation. So within each step, we will cover the individual components that make up the Canary system. So Canary collectors are the tools that move data into the Canary historian. Collectors reach out to all industry protocols, so you can log data directly from your process into our system. So we work with MQTT Sparkplug-B, OPC UA and DA, various SCADA systems. We also work with Allen Bradley, Siemens, and Modbus. Those are all on our roadmap for release in early 2021. We also work with SQL databases, CSV files, and we have web and .NET APIs, and these are used to create your own custom collectors. And we have manual data entry. So a very typical architecture would look something like this. PLCs and other devices are communicating to an existing OPC server. The collector software would be installed on the OPC server and push data across the network to the Canary server as well as the SCADA system. The architecture would be the same when the data source is an MQTT Sparkplug server. If not, you could use Canary to connect to a variety of SCADA solutions via custom connectors or existing OPC servers. Typically, the flow of data into the Canary system would look like this. Your PLCs and devices are in the field. You would install the designated Canary collector and sender applications local to your OPC server, MQTT broker, or SCADA server. And then you would build out a Canary historian server with the rest of the software, which the client tools would connect to. And it's important to note the Canary historian does not impact the PLC or the devices, nor can it write records back through the OPC server or MQTT broker to those devices. The client tools have no way to impact the OPC, MQTT broker, or the SCADA server. That access stops at the historian. So now that you know how data comes into the Canary system, let's talk about our store and forward technology. The sender service is configured to move data across the network to the receiver service, which is matched locally to a Canary historian database for archiving the data. The receiver service checks it into the historian and communicates to the sender that the message was received and written to the database. If for any reason the network is not available, or if the historian fails to write the values, all the data will be cached locally. And the admin is notified that we are no longer receiving data into the historian from that logging instance. When the network connection is available again, we will automatically backfill the data in real time. So imagine if you didn't have this feature. What good is collecting the data if your customers can't have complete confidence that they won't lose the data? And so the system allows for dual logging and sending data from one sender to multiple receivers and historians. So you can execute any number of local, enterprise, or cloud-based architectures. And we have a very helpful architecture guide available to you. And if you would like to receive it as a free download, go ahead and click the raise your hand icon and we'll provide that link for you. All right. Well, thank you for raising your hand. Okay, so the data is being collected and stored. Now it is time to discuss the real star of the show, the Canary Historian. So the Canary Historian is a NoSQL time series database. It's specifically built for process data and industrial automation. The Historian has been optimized for performance. Best of all, no database administration skills are required to maintain the Historian. Trust me, your customers will love knowing they don't need to add another member to their team just to manage the database. The Historian is highly scalable. So whether you're tracking 100 tags or over 2 million tags, it is the exact same software install. All that changes is the licensing. So you can dual log to move real-time data to both local and enterprise servers, as well as leverage proxy servers to move data through a DMZ. So the Historian was designed specifically to meet the challenges of the industrial automation space. This means whether you are operating inside of a traditional factory, trying to access data from remote sites with bad connectivity, or just want to account for daylight savings time in your reporting, Canary has you covered. The system has also been built to provide a higher priority on read speeds than write speeds. You only write the data values once, but you could read them hundreds of times. The file-based storage method that the Historian uses to archive the data ensures you have the same performance whether you want data values from the last 3 days or from a point in time 3 years ago. So it's worth mentioning twice. No database administration skills are required to maintain the Canary Historian. So no matter how large your system gets, the performance remains constant and does not degrade over time. So you can achieve over 1.5 million writes per second, and you can read over 2.5 million reads per second out of the Historian. So what is a tag? Oh, a tag is a single stream of time series data, also referred to as points, channels, or items. And the tag consists of a TVQ, which is a timestamp, a value, and a quality. Also, metadata properties such as engineering units, high-low set points, or GPS coordinates. These are fully customizable data properties. Once all the data is written to the Historian, it's important to start thinking about how we will compress it in order to keep our data footprint as small as possible. Canary has developed a unique lossless compression algorithm with best-in-class performance and 3 times data compression. And because it's lossless, we are never interpolating data and never cutting data values. The unique raw values are being stored in the Historian every time. So never cutting data values is very significant. Imagine not having this feature, and then you have to tell a potential customer that they'll sacrifice data granularity over time. And this is not going to win you more business with that kind of news. So if companies are serious about storing time series data, they can't sacrifice on the reliability of the data archive. And best of all, the Canary system is secure. All files are encrypted, and all communication of data between the Historian and requesting clients is built on top of WCF technology. So this gives you the added benefit of being able to apply both authentication and authorization measures for your system. So in review, when talking about collecting and storing data, the Canary system is out of the box ready. So between store and forward and lossless compression, you never have to worry about data loss. And it's a high performance database, and ultimately, Canary has created a secure database that you and your clients can depend on. So step 2 is all about assigning context to your data. Is just getting data written to a database enough? Well, maybe it would have been 10 years ago, but it isn't enough anymore. If that is all you are offering your customers, you're not really solving their needs, and it might really be costing you business. because organizations need to add context to their data. So Canary accomplishes data contextualization in 3 ways: virtual views, the calculation server, and event monitoring. So a common problem we see most companies face is this. They have a piece of equipment or a site or a SCADA system with a tag naming structure that is being followed and written into the historian. But somewhere else in the organization, there's another piece of equipment or site or SCADA system that is doing the exact same thing, but they're using a different set of tag names that is also being stored in the historian. And normally this doesn't impact production. Your operations will likely work just fine, even with the different naming conventions. But it creates a big problem when your engineers are trying to generate reports on the data or trend the data and trying to learn from the data, because they all must remember all these different tag naming structures. But imagine if you could leave the operation alone, not change the PLC, not change the SCADA system, but unify the namespace so that for reporting purposes, all the tags follow your desired format. So with the Canary system, you can do exactly that. You can create virtual views of the data, influencing how the client can interact with the data without ever altering the data in its physical storage. So when reading data from the historian, the views service is the filter the client looks through to browse, retrieve tags, and read data from the historian. So by utilizing the view service, you can essentially change the way the client sees and interacts with the data inside the historian. So you can reshape and alias the tag format inside the historian without changing the historical record. If you create multiple views of that historical record, then you can offer very specific security-based permissions to the client of how they see the data inside the historian. So does the client see the data through filter 1 or filter 2? Canary has given the admin the power to control who can access the data based on what applies to their specific role and the needs of the organization. This is accomplished through security permissions or Active Directory login. And Virtual Views offers tremendous functionality. Login configurations to the views are fully customizable to fit your client's needs. Here is an example of how Virtual Views can assign context to your data. Inside the historian, you have these 10 pieces of I/O, and then we apply a virtual view, and now the client sees this unified naming space. Now look as we switch over to line 2. The client still sees the same format, but the tags retain their uniqueness. Notice the client-facing view as I switch back to line 1. The client will see a structured, unified namespace, and the PLCs or devices didn't need to be altered. So the million-dollar question is, how are virtual views created? Well, regular expressions provides the ability to restructure tag names while maintaining tag uniqueness. If you don't currently work with regex, that's okay. It's a relatively simple tool to master. So let's look at it more closely. So the methodology is to first identify and capture the unique parts of the tag name that we want to preserve, while ignoring the parts that don't add value. For example, if you had these 3 tags that you wanted to reshape with a single find and replace rule using regex, you could do so with this rule. To begin, we want to keep the word line. So we will create a capture group whenever the word line appears by using parentheses. Next, we will create another capture group for the line item. In regex, the backslash in lowercase d matches any single number. This allows you to match the unique number associated with each line 1 or line 2 with a single rule. Next, we will advance past the dot and the 020 dash identifier because for our purposes, this does not add any value to the tag name. We can omit these by choosing not to use parentheses to capture them. When we come to the numeric identifier with BL, however, we want to capture these as they represent the unique boiler number. Again, we can use the backslash and capital D to match. This time we will do so for 3 unique spaces. Next, Moving past the dash, we will create another capture group that matches on any two alpha characters. And finally, capture the last two numeric digits out of the 3 digits total, ignoring the first digit and the dash PV that is on the end of the name. Now that we have identified the tags and the sections of the tags that we want to match on and ultimately capture, we can write a replace rule. The replace rule allows us to recall our previously identified capture groups by using the $ and then the capture group identifier. So to recall the first capture group, we write a $ and the number 1. And as a result, we have begun to reshape and alias our archived tag names above. Next, we will add capture group 2 and incorporate the numeric identifier of each line. Additionally, adding a dot after the $2 adds the dot into the tag name given in hierarchy. Adding the text boiler and then the third capture group will provide a label within the name of the tag name of boiler and then also display the boiler number as referenced in the original tag. Additionally, adding another dot at the end of the boiler instance creates more structure and reshapes the original tag names from a single parent-child structure to a deeper hierarchy. Finally, we can call the last two capture groups and finish the newly aliased tag. So if tag names don't have as much logic as you would like, that can be supplemented by reading properties from an external database that might already exist within the organization. Now, if that regular expressions example seemed a little overwhelming, don't let it stress you out. You don't have to be a regex guru to build powerful virtual views. We would love to show you the ropes, or you can contact the engineering team at Canary to create regex roles, as well as the next topic we're about to discuss, asset models for your clients. Custom asset models can be created once tags have been restructured and a unified namespace has been established. Organizations are likely already talking about equipment from an asset viewpoint. So if there is a site with 3 lines, and those lines are made up of boilers, fillers, and water mains, it might look something like this. Notice line 2 has 2 fillers, while line 3 has 2 boilers. How would you use virtual views to capture all the assets on this site? Now that we have a unified namespace with hierarchy, we can use more regular expressions to identify which tags represent different assets, and then group those tags into each asset category. Additionally, we can also alias those tag names to provide an easy and clear naming pattern. Looking back at the site example, there are 4 boilers, 1 on line 1, 1 on line 2, and 2 on line 3. So let's see how the virtual views would handle this particular asset. So using the unified naming space model that has been built out, you see line 1, boiler 1, and then the 3 common asset tag names. And the same with each of the other boilers on the other lines. Common tag names with unique identifiers show you exactly where the asset is and what else it impacts. So what is the benefit? Beyond giving you better organization, it gives organizations the ability to make specific requests based on asset types. For example, show all boiler temperature tags. Or more specifically, it helps automation experts automate their workflows. Filtering based on asset tag conditions mean you can immediately see all boilers with a temperature outside of a desired range. So there is power in the ability to automate workflow and easily use process data. Clients no longer need to hunt for information, but can instead quickly generate reports with the information organizations need. It is key to point out that models do not break if assets don't match up perfectly. If organizations are working with a dynamic process and constantly bringing assets online or offline, the virtual views looks for tags to be dropped out of the historian and updates the model automatically. So before we go over the next piece of the Canary system, I have another question for you. How would you rate your regular expressions knowledge? Would you say you are new to regex but would like to learn? you have some previous experience with regex, or maybe you frequently use regex, or you're just a regex wizard. So we're going to go ahead here. I will pull open a poll. And we'll go ahead here and I'll go ahead and launch that. So go ahead and pick your best answer. All right, we'll just let that up for a couple more seconds as the votes are still coming in. Okay, well, thank you for voting. Okay. So, now that you've been introduced to the virtual views, let's move on and examine another way Canary can assign context to your data. The next piece of software in the system is the calculation engine. So if you think about it, your car's dashboard is feeding you raw processed data. How fast am I going? How many miles are on the odometer? How much fuel was left in the tank? Well, that's all raw data. Additionally, if a check engine light comes on, you're looking at condition-based data. And many cars today also have an indicator of range or how many miles you can drive given your current fuel level. Well, that's running some type of a calculation to estimate that KPI. If we look at all these three different types of data, traditionally, in the historian, all we have is raw data. But if we have these raw data tags and group them into assets, we can create other calculated tags of condition-based roles and calculated KPIs. The calculation engine is powerful. You can deploy a single calculation to all instances of an asset type, and it runs in real time while also backfilling. And we offer more than 70 functions. So if we look at our asset tags of a boiler, we can see there is a temperature tag. So every 5 seconds or every second it is pulling to get that new temperature. We could run a calculation anytime there is a boiler to ask it to use the temperature tag and give us an average 60-minute temperature for that tag. For the filler, we could use the out bottle count and the out bottles rejected to determine the percentage of rejected bottles. The water main accumulation and flow tags could tell us the total daily volume per line. So just like you can do condition-based tag calculations, you can also key off of those calculations to monitor asset health. You can create a series of logic or rules to determine whether an asset is in an alert state or not. Then you can do reporting and pull analytics based around the events. Event monitoring provides condition-based asset monitoring along with reporting based on event performance and analytics surrounding the event durations. So having a tool like this is going to give your customers confidence in the Canary solution, and in turn, it'll win you more business. So constructing a role is the trigger for the event. A simple rule would be to trigger an event if the level of a tank gets below 25% and the temperature of the liquid falls below 80 degrees. We ran this event using simulation data, and here's what we got back. So this is a list of instances of events within the conditions we've structured at each of the various sites. Notice you get the source, start and end time, duration, and analytic properties associated with the event. This information is customizable and can be tailored to the needs of your clients. So that wraps up the second step. Now let's focus our attention on maximizing your operation. So the third step is where we will examine the Canary client tools, which are Axiom and the Excel add-in, as well as take a closer look at the publisher and connectors. The most robust Canary client tool is Axiom. This is a visualization tool that will blow your customers away. Axiom alone will help you win more business. And Axiom is our trending dashboard and reporting tool. It's built with HTML, so it works within any modern web browser, and it's accessible from a cell phone or tablet in the field. It's also designed for self-serve reporting. So Axiom changes that traditional model of the client having the need to ask the SCADA team to produce a trend chart. it makes it easy for the end user to produce their own trend charts. So here are a few examples of charts that have been produced in Axiom. And as you look at the next few slides, remember that you don't have to be an expert when it comes to building dashboards and automated reports. Canary can help you win more business by contracting our own engineering services to build dashboards and asset models. And you can see it is easy to incorporate trend charts and tables of data. You can also add things like donut gauges or spark lines. Axiom can be built and it can be used to build applications that are less about trend lines and more about looking at data tables or graphs. Axiom is a completely blank slate which allows you to customize and build out whatever engineers and decision makers need to visualize. So Axiom is more than just a visualization tool. It also provides advanced trending. And you can build your own trends, run ad hoc calculations, or run statistical analysis based on time interval, as well as charts and applications that can be saved publicly, privately, or in read-only mode. And you can painlessly publish automated reports via email. And the versatility of Axiom allows you to build HMI-styled dashboards, and the drag and drop editor makes building dashboards a breeze. So from gauges to symbol graphics, tables to trends, Axiom has it all. Asset templating with condition-based filtering means you can effortlessly monitor asset health. So imagine that your customer has 100 different tanks, and they would like to know which of those tanks will be at 90% capacity 4 hours from now. And they also do not want to manually export the data into Excel and run cumbersome calculations to make this determination. They always want to have some type of a dynamic report running this list in real time. And this sounds like a great idea, but who are we going to get to develop this report for the customer? How much effort is it going to take? Well, I got great news for you. If you have 10 minutes, you can do this. So let me show you how. So let's go ahead and we'll sign into Axiom. And then we'll go ahead and create a brand new Axiom application. And we'll set the screen size to fit our monitor for this purpose of today's demo. And we'll use our virtual views, which is an asset model, in this case called tank farms. And it has tanks based on what region of our enterprise they reside in. And we can select the very first tank on the list, which is the #1 tank in the Northeast region. And then next we can start dragging and dropping controls onto our screen, such as the asset label for the tank. And we have a complete symbol graphics library. So we can drag and drop in a symbol for the tank. So let's say that looks like a great tank to use. And we can resize it and move it about on our screen very easily. And we can even add things like a linear gauge. So we can drop in a linear gauge over top of the tank, and we can assign the level tag to that gauge. This allows us to see a visual level of the liquid in the tank. And we have various properties. We can assign a nice color to the gauge there. And then we can even add things like a value box control below the tank here to visualize the temperature of the liquid in the tank in this case. We can add some other value formatting changes here. And maybe I just want to see 58F for 58 degrees Fahrenheit. I can just make that minor adjustment. So now that we've visualized the tank and we've built out some key metrics for the tank, we can use this screen for doing specific diagnostics on what's happened on a tank. In this case, we can make a simple 3-column report using the grid control. So we can add some labels here for our column headers. And we can even as we link the tags to the value boxes, we can even time shift the start time so that we can compare the real-time values with pre. So right here we have 4 hours ago. So we would just type in now minus 4H, and that'll update our value boxes accordingly. Here we'll do now minus 8H, so we can see the values 8 hours ago. And then we might want to use the trend chart as well to look at large periods of history or compare one tank to another. We can come in and browse for tags. So for our tank, we'd like to see all 3 of the tags. And we can even go in and make some modifications inside our edit trend window. So here we can do a simple time aggregate, which is just a weighted average. In this case, we want to do a weighted, say, maximum average here. So over 30 minutes, what was the maximum reading? And we know that if the value maybe gets close to a threshold of 65, it'd be nice to see some type of a limit line on the chart indicating how close we're getting to that. We'll put this in live mode here, and we can even make some on-the-fly adjustments to the scaling, for example. So for my level, I think it should be maximum of 100, minimum of 0. Maybe on my temperature, I'd like to adjust it so the high scale is maybe 70 degrees and the low scale is 50. And then that also, you can see how it frees up to allow us to see the limit line there. So if we're happy with this, we can go ahead and save it to a public or private directory. Let's go ahead and call it tank details. So just like that, we've created the application, and we can set it, and maybe I want to look at the last 8 hours of data. We'll go ahead and put that in live mode. So since we've assigned our application to our tank farm asset model, we can easily choose any tank from our list, and then all the on-screen controls will update to reflect the metrics of our new tank. So, what if we wanted to, build upon this work and create a report that showed us all of our tanks in a simple table form? Well, one thing is we can add multiple screens, as you see here, into our application. So in this screen, we can add a grid control and assign it to our tank farm asset model. And then choose the tank as the asset type, and immediately the grid will list all tanks from our tank farm. And then we can even drag and drop a value box into the second column, and it will immediately propagate for all rows. So we're doing the work one time for a multiplied effort here, as you can see. And then we can do some value formatting on the value box controls, and so we'll make that just 1 decimal with a percentage. So now we can see the level percentage. And here we want to see the just the rounded off degrees in Fahrenheit. And I can even link the tank column as a clickable option to go to the screen number 1. So now I can sort my list of tanks in a certain order. This is helpful. So you'll see there I have it sorted in descending order, and I can click back over to screen 1 and take a look at the metrics of that tank. So that's helpful, but maybe instead of sorting them by descending order, I want to create some type of filter that only shows me tanks that meet certain conditions. So maybe I want to see all tanks that have a level percentage under 80% right now. So we'll let that generate. And as you'll see, the list will update from 88 to 64. So I have 64 tanks right now that are below 80% capacity. And further, and maybe I would like to make this a report that's more about predictive analytics. I could say I want to take the current level and I want to add it to a calculated tag we've created that showed the increase over the previous 4 hours. So I want to add it now going forward in time. So now I can see that here are all the tanks that we're predicting should be above 80% capacity in the next 4 hours from now. And I can even filter that. So you can see there's just 5 tanks that meet that filter criteria. So there's some real simple, even predictive analytics we can do on the fly. So if I'm satisfied with this new report I've just created, I'm going to call it tank level report. We're going to save that report. And I'm even going to put a refresh rate so that every 5 minutes as we're viewing this report, it automatically updates. Now I'm going to go into our report scheduler here, and we're going to pick our newly developed tank level report. And we're going to say that we want this report to generate every day of the week at 8 a.m. in the morning. So Sunday through Saturday at 8 a.m. This report will automatically generate, and we want it to be emailed to our engineering group. So everyone that's under that group will receive in their inbox at 8 a.m. an attachment that includes that generated report. So there you have it. Imagine showing one of your potential customers how quickly and easily they can create a dynamic report like that. So this visualization tool is so valuable that customers will boast about it within their industry. And it'll make you a data rock star for suggesting it, and it will send you more business in your direction. And the Excel add-in is another great tool provided by the Canary system. We know that many of your team members are already using Excel. The add-in enables you to connect your Canary data to Excel, and this helps quickly solve reporting needs and get raw and aggregated processed data out of the historian and back to your customers. It also gives you the ability to build event monitoring on the fly. So an example of how easy the Excel add-in is to use, let's look at how you would get a tag list, and you can filter and grab all level percentage tags and put them in column A. And now you can click the last value and it will find the last value for each of these 500 tags. So there you have the report, that simple. And the Canary system makes it easy to get data out of the Canary historian and into other systems and pieces of software. That is where the Canary connectors help. The Canary connectors can include things such as publish service, web API, MQTT publishing client, different SCADA connectors, one of which is our ignition connector by inductive automation. We also have an ODBC connector. So if you need to expose the Canary historian in a SQL-like manner to make queries against our database, we have that. And we also have an OPC HDA server that speaks directly to our historian. So that wraps up the 3 steps of how the Canary system can make it easy to use process data. So let's bring Kyle Kinsainer back to discuss the Canary pricing model.
All right, Sean, thank you so much. Great job. Appreciate you providing an overview and painting the picture of how valuable the Canary solution can be for end users. Just to recap everything Sean covered, the Canary system includes everything we've discussed, and all features are prepackaged and integrated in the Canary system. And that includes the Canary collectors, store and forward, of course, the Canary historian, virtual views, the calc server, event monitoring, Axiom, the Excel add-in, as well as Canary connectors. So the only thing we license are the number of tags for the Canary historian and the user license for Excel add-in and Axiom. Hopefully by now we've made it clear that the Canary system is designed around giving partners the ability to solve their clients' problems. But you're probably wondering, well, what does it cost? At Canary, we're very transparent with our pricing. If you visit our website, you can use a pricing calculator to build out your system needs and see your pricing options immediately. Now, it is important to note that the pricing calculator on our website does not include partner discounts. The first thing you need to decide is who will host the data. Either clients can host the data in their own cloud solution or on-premise, or the data can be hosted in the Canary Cloud. And next, select the exact number of tags and clients needed. So here's an example of a base solution. It includes 100 tags and one concurrent client license. The upfront purchase price is $4,000 US, or you can choose to subscribe for $135 per month. Tags are priced at just $1.50 per tag, and additional tags can always be added, so the Canary system can grow along with the operation. What you see here is an example of a 5,000 tag system with 3 clients. And once the system reaches 40,000 tags, it's hit an unlimited tag count and can continue to grow without paying for additional tags. Canary can also provide a quote for an enterprise license agreement upon request, and this would provide an unlimited number of Canary systems with all licensing restrictions removed. Now, getting started as a Canary partner is easy. The first thing you need to do is let us know that you want to sign up. And next, we'll get you all set up with your demo license and work to get you and your team trained on the Canary system. And finally, start winning more work. Not only is the Canary system priced at a fraction of the cost of other solutions on the market, but we back it up with a stellar reputation and experience. Okay, so now who's interested in becoming a Canary partner? We want to work together to provide best-in-class data solutions and win more business for you as a Canary partner. So I want to thank everybody for their time and attention today. At this point, we will open it up to your questions, and feel free to use the Zoom features to drop your questions in the chat or the Q&A box. Now, Sean and I are happy to schedule one-on-one conversations with you. We can discuss any potential projects you're working on or address any questions you might have directly about the Canary Partner Program or the Canary system. Okay. Well, I know we're coming close to the top of the hour here, so if you don't have any questions directly, feel free to reach out to Sean and I, and we would be happy to talk to you again. But again, I just want to thank you for attending the webinar, and we really do look forward to partnering with you and helping you win more business as a Canary partner. Thank you, and have a great day.